And good evening, cherished viewers. You're welcome to the 11th edition of Minority Caucus here on Joy News TV. Let's get interactive tonight. Your comments and messages are welcome. You can join the discussion by sending us a text message on 054 010 9009. I would love to read from you. Ghanaians have waded into the debate on which presidential candidate has performed better infrastructural development. But facts are sacred. The evidence is clear. Investing in infrastructure is integral to the economic development of every country. The reason its importance cannot be underemphasized. Infrastructure development has always been important to the National Democratic Congress. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's infrastructural records within his 4 years administration as President of the Republic are superior and undisputed. Schools, universities, roads, interchanges, bridges, water supply, electricity expansion, health facilities, transportation and communication installations, amongst many others, were provided by John Dramani Mahama's administration to the admiration of all. It is worthy to note by the records available that John Dramani Mahama has done way better in terms of infrastructural development in comparison to the Akufo-Addo-led administration, despite the fact that they have secured almost 3 times, and I mean 3 times more funds than the Mahama administration ever secured. In the run-up to the 2016 general elections, the then candidate Akufo-Addo, by his utterances, clearly demonstrated that John Mahama's investment in infrastructure was unnecessary. We had comments such as, "We don't eat infrastructure, we don't eat roads." But fast forward, in 2020, government is scrambling to grab even KVIP and tout it as their major infrastructural achievement. How ridiculous. Vice President Dr. Bawumia, on Tuesday, the 18th of August, addressed the town hall meeting to highlight his government's infrastructural records since assuming office and used that as an opportunity to launch their delivery tracker app, the one single portal for all government projects. It is worth noting that most of the projects listed as ongoing and completed on their delivery website are non-existent without any accompanying pictures. Shockingly, the number of total infrastructure projects completed by government as captured on the app at the time it was launched has reduced significantly as a result of duplications and non-existing projects. Tonight on Minority Caucus, we will continue to advance the infrastructure debate, and in the studio with me is the former Free Zones Board, a member of the National Democratic Congress's communications team, a sectorial spokesperson on infrastructure, and he's the former chief executive of the Ghana Free Zones Board. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we face a clear risk of being stuck at this level of development because of the poor management and huge non-capital expenditure by this Nana Akufo-Addo administration. Indeed, that is our major vulnerability as a nation. This government has made no real effort to create an economy that generates prosperity. It has made very little investments in production, innovation, and creativity, which are the main drivers of prosperity. It abandoned projects and downplayed the role of infrastructural development. And we have very worrying and disturbing cases of institutional failure. Let me be very clear. Economic growth and macroeconomic stability alone is not enough to avoid being stuck at lower middle income level. In fact, as long as economic growth is based mainly on cheap labor and is driven mainly by the exploitation of natural resources, we won't be able to avoid being stuck at our current level of development. Using the current economic model of the Akufo-Addo administration, we won't grow within the next decade to guarantee sustainable livelihoods and create the needed jobs for the teeming youth of our country. To create sustainable development and prosperity, something we all deserve, we must build a robust social and economic infrastructure, one that supports creativity, innovation, and production of high-valued products and services. We all know that our current government has done and is doing very little in this direction, being content only to showcase its dubious and debatable macroeconomic statistics. And indeed, we are not even sure what statistics to believe, because for the first time in history, we have a government that produces two sets of statistics, one for local consumption and the other for international consumption. The risk of becoming a country trapped at a low prosperity level is unfortunately boosted by the fact that while we're fighting hard to consolidate our lower middle income status, the advanced nations are in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution, transitioning from a post-industrial world to the world of smart technology and from a production-based economy to a knowledge-based one. It is for this reason, my brothers and sisters, that I've proposed the launching of the $10 billion Big Push initiative.
So welcome back. When we go to our hometown in Ekropon, we are considered as the black sheep in the family, and we have a very interesting auntie. She says that we are the black sheep of the family, and he's seated. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing?
We did.
How's the opposition treating you?
Bad government. Trying to exist.
So first of all, what are your general impressions so far as this government is concerned? They have very few months to end their tenure, and I want to take your impressions about them so far.
2 words: thank God.
Thank God.
For that they have a few months left.
Really? How has it been?
Bye-bye.
Anyway, but they have so much confidence when they talk about their achievements for the past 3 and some months before 4 years, and they think that they have a better record than the NDC's 8 years of being in power. What makes them feel confident?
I think that their confidence is grounded more in what they intend to do with regards to the Electoral Commission than the fact that they've actually done anything. Because if they have done anything, you wouldn't go to page 82 of their manifesto and see that they have put on there that they build a UGMC. You wouldn't see Dr. Bawumia coming out to tell Ghanaians that they were responsible for the Tema and the Pokwasi interchange. They won't be telling us that they were responsible for the Obechebi-Lamte interchange. They won't be telling us that they finished some 22 or 23 more of the E-block schools, and it wasn't the 46 that they acknowledged in their handing over notes as regards when we were leaving office, simply because there was no furniture in the building. If somebody has finished the building and hands it over to you, and there was no furniture in the building, you came and bought furniture, means you finished it. Yeah. Those are some of the arguments. But I think they are more. Remember that they started with a clear agenda, and I'm sure maybe we'll go there. But they started with a clear agenda of disenfranchising the NDC's strength in terms of its voter strength in places like the Volta region, for which region they got rid of the Electoral Commission. And I'm not saying it. Anyone who goes into the U.S. Department's state report for 2019, Mike Pompeo states there, he said it himself, that getting rid of the EC chair was designed to suppress the voter participation in our strongholds.
Did it work?
Well, clearly it didn't work. And I don't know why people do not learn from history. All the tyrants in our history in the years gone by, whether you want to talk about Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, whatever, there's a certain thing that they all have in common. They've all come to pass. Life itself is transient. We will all come and go. They will come and go. We were at free zones together. We've come and gone. Some people will come, they will go. So the best thing is to acknowledge what others have done and build upon it. That is what government is supposed to be. Government should exist in a continuum. Government doesn't exist in staccato form where you came and you did something and you left, and then somebody else comes and says you did absolutely nothing. So everything that is here, I am doing it, and that. But for me, even the things that are there that we see will not be there. I mean, I find it shocking that the MPP have the temerity to put the UGMC in their manifesto as a project they completed. They put the Gais Rural Hospital in their manifesto as a project they completed. Just a few days ago, Dr. Baumia came after they had to get rid of their tracker. He came back and the Tema interchange is still on it as a project they conceived and completed. They are saying that they conceived and completed, well, are completing the Obechebi interchange, and then they are telling us that the Pokwasi interchange they are doing it. I mean, it's just shocking. Sitting back and seeing whatever is going on with this administration, and then in 2016, do you think that it was good and it was something that Ghanaians needed the change so that they can do a proper comparison? And now the people have really gone through the 3+ years of the NPP and now they can compare. So do you agree that in 2016 that change has really helped the NDC? Let me just say that I see that side of the argument. But the other side of it is that the people of Ghana have been deprived of the vision of John Mahama for 4 years. We saw what President Mahama was about. Look, let's just, in this country, since we're kids, our grandparents and our parents and others have been waxing lyrical. Gajisberg built Kolebu. Isn't that what they've been saying? Gajisberg built Achimota School. Isn't that what they've been saying? President Mahama built UGMC. And if for nothing at all, but for President Mahama's vision, half of the president's cabinet will be dead. Am I lying? They were all they all got COVID. They were all there. And for everybody who has been affected by COVID-19, who has had to go and be admitted or treated at UGMC, you don't need me to tell you. The doctors are a different breed, as if they came from somewhere. The nurses are a different breed, as if they came from somewhere. I recently found out that many of them were retrained in Israel. But if you don't think John Mahama did anything at all, just go to UGMC. And then come back and come and tell me whether anything that these people have done, bears any resemblance to anything they have even conceived. You see, infrastructure is not just a matter of you close your eyes one day and it appears. It's conceptual. So President Mahama had a vision. Look at the Terminal 3. You know, the hoardings were there. When they were removed, there was a new terminal. And that terminal is rated as the best and most navigable airport in Africa. So if you don't have anything to say about President Mahama, let's go there. And you see, so disgracefully, they have refused to commission that building.
But there are many who think that it's been overhyped. Clearly, they simply don't get the point that he was a president. He was supposed to be doing those things. So it was not anything different.
When they are traveling through it and everything goes seamlessly and smoothly, and they go from the terminal straight into the aircraft, is it an overhype? Where else in Africa, apart from South Africa and Lagos, do you go and you just go through the gangway and you enter the aircraft? That is what a visionary does. And you see, some of the things that I'm glad that at the beginning of the program you quoted a certain political lexicon that we are living with today. But we don't eat road. You are the true interpretation of that expression was "It be road with a job." Remember that one? "It be road with a job." Remember that? But today we are busy telling us about roads. They are busy telling us about projects they didn't do.
They are busy telling us about KVIPs.
You know, I have a very interesting picture of a KVIP. Next time you invite me, I'll show it to you. I didn't bring it. A hut in the middle of a field, a clear and present health hazard, right? That they depicted as part of their projects. And as soon as people started criticizing it, they removed it. I mean, even projects that were managed and finished by the Rotary Club of Ghana were highlighted as projects that the government had completed. When they finished, there was an apology that, oh, it was the DCEs who brought the projects. That is why there are mistakes.
And those DCEs are still at
the truth of the matter is that they thought that it would get by Ghanaians, as has been everything. Do you remember the sloganeering, one district, one factory? You and I were at free zones together. You know that factories that were commissioned when we were at free zones are now being listed as one district, one factory. Shocking. One village, one dam. Where are the dams? But for the Bagre Dam overflowing, that one village, one dam thing never came into effect. They talk about $1 million per constituency. When you ask them where the money is, they tell you they've used it to build toilets. Is that what they told us? As we speak today, this government owes every single constituency in this country $4 million because we are in year 4. Baumia told us, and I'm quoting him, that we should go and collect the money because money was being stolen in Accra.
Really?
Those were his words. And today, they tell you, oh, we've used it for toilets. We didn't say we're using it. What did you tell us?
I need to go and look for my MP. $4 million. That's a lot of money.
Because of that, I was even thinking about challenging Bismarck for the Ayawaso West constituency chairmanship, but I realized there was nobody coming, so I decided not to.
I want us to go into health, education, roads, railway, agriculture, so far as the much touted infrastructure achievement of President John Dramani Mahama is concerned, and I want us to start with, I think that we've done a bit of health. Let's get into education, because obviously the moment you raise the issues, they talk about how you didn't even complete the 46 e-blogs that you're making noise about. Let's talk about the roads and the railway. Let's talk about the agricultural sector also.
You see, President Mahama's vision, and together with Auntie Nana at the Ministry of Education, was that he was going to provide the infrastructure for us to be able to increase the participation. Because you can't talk all the big talk if the basics are not there. If the children are going to go and study in a park, what is the use? No point. So we had a plan to put up 200 of those e-blocks. He finished 46. Some people came and said because there was no
furniture.
There was no furniture. We had finished 20 something, but those were there. Today, those are being used as part of this current government's education, their flagship program with which they are disturbing everybody in this country, free SHS. That free SHS is being facilitated in part by President Mahama's vision.
You think so? I have been around, I have been to door, kiosk to kiosk, and everywhere you get to, the women who sell, the petty traders are telling you that their information is that President Mahama has no plan for free senior high school, and that is why they think that he doesn't have good policies for them.
That is the narrative they are selling. So it is up to us in the NDC to counter the narrative with the truth. President Mahama has never said anywhere, and he has repeated it time and again, that the idea that he is going to be the one to come and prescribe free SHS is a lie.
Who started free SHS?
Well, free SHS is in our constitution. You see, the concept of free SHS is in our constitution. And at the level of the NDC, we believe that we should make it progressive. And that progressivity was because we understood that you cannot just, you even had at a point in time, we had at basic school level, we had people sitting under trees. You have to move them into proper infrastructure before you can even consider the word free. But the MPP saw an opportunity and a crack to come in and repeat lies upon lies upon lies to Ghanaians. Unfortunately, we didn't counter it too well, and Ghanaians believed them. But today, they have seen that the children are in places sometimes packed like sardines. When diseases break out, they break out en masse. Scabies, COVID, what have you. Many parents are now realizing. And let me not forget the green truck, blue truck, red truck. Some people's children are in school on Christmas Day.
They call it the traffic light.
Yes. Whose child is in school on Christmas Day? Others' children are in school on New Year's Day. I mean, bazaar. And people are now seeing the vision of President Mahama that in this country, our development is going to be in a continuum because our population sizes increase, demographics change. So we as a government need to be able to move with those trends. So he proposed for it to be done progressively.
And is he going to still continue with progressively,
Absolutely.
or he's going to continue with a free senior high school policy that the MPP is implementing?
President Mahama understands that government is in a continuum. So he is going to complete, if you read our big push agenda, item 20 talks about construction of new schools at the basic levels. Item 18 talks about completion of all abandoned community day school projects. It goes further to talk about new TVET schools, building universities in regions that do not have any, build modern centers of development and promotion for creative industry. So, as you can realize, President Mahama's vision is all-encompassing. But those of us who know him know that his vision is for the development of this country has been all-encompassing. Some people thought that the only way they could come to power was to do what they did. Now they are there. But if you are there and you have borrowed $170 billion, more money than was borrowed since Goggisberg till the time you came in 3.5 years, at least use it for something that we can see.
You think they are not doing that?
Obi, what is it that you have seen? This year is the year of roads. Tell me which road has been built. Tell me.
They're asphalting the roads. In East Legon, all the roads are asphalted.
You didn't answer my question. I said, tell me which road has been built. Tell me which roads have been built. President Mahama was constructing new roads, like the road that is behind Bema Camp, that leads to Nungwa. It was a new dual carriage road. And so he has promised that he is going to dualize Accra to Kumasi, Kumasi to Tamale, Tamale to Sunyani. He's going to dualize Accra to Cape Coast, Takrady, and beyond. He's going to dualize Accra to Aflao. He is going to do all the... And who is betting against him?
Anyway, we'll get into all of that because I want to talk about the big push agenda. But before we do that, I want to talk about inflated projects. And I'm sure that that's one of the campaigns that the NPP runs against the NDC, things that most of the projects that we are making noise about were inflated just to put money in President Mahama and his appointees in their pockets and all that. And I'm sure that President Mahama himself has been speaking about it to a local TV station. I want us to listen to that video first. Then when we come, we get into the corruption area so far as infrastructural developments are concerned. We'll be back.
for Praso Road, very important road. Now contractor Guso then they said stop work. 4 years now, what they contract all the work he did has been eroded. And so
for Praso.
Yes, a very important link. Because so far as for so you come down all the way to Yamransa Junction.
Yeah.
And I link it to Dabuase. What me fight you for Praso Airport Takwan.
Yeah.
And so that's a very important link road. But you know, go to the road today, it will cost us twice that amount to go back and do that.
Go back and do it.
Oshe Gambia number 2 to Chiremesu Pine. Yeah, the first layer of quota eguso, and yes, you munje juma. And now for fast a tutu tokro. And now, if you want to do it again, this is a three quota in every so. Now sign the gravel here, and then you roll it before you put a quota on it again. The same thing we call Bronga Hafwa. I've gone around the whole country, and I've seen all those roads. You're going to be free through Bodom. We gave it to 2 contractors. You know, they I say they also put quota on it, first quote. So it's costing the nation more. And instead of what stops you from, say, contractors, no, they should continue working. You can investigate while they are working.
While they work.
I feel what could you have $10 million for an audit? Get the audit report, Abrewa. Also, just a member of office now would be report to action.
Okay, I like maybe Sir Excellency because I listened to Uriabahin Edu, CEO of Cocoa Board. Now, as a report's not ready, but if you are interested, you can apply, and the report will be given to you, or you can come to the office. I don't know if it belongs
to the public. Why should we apply? Black Stars probe, and you more than 260 pages. Yamfa Black Stars probe Amamo. It's in the public interest that the public know what happened. I know to apply for Black Stars probe and sana on your wall.
2014 World Cup.
Exactly. And a bulkier document than Cocoa Roads probe.
So that's President Mahama basically telling us how worried he is about the current state of road infrastructure in the country, especially in the places where these constructions have been halted by this current government. For instance, they are saying Fosu, Chofo, Praso Road, Gambia number 2 to Tremansu Road, and all the others that he mentioned. He says that it will cost the nation more to reconstruct these roads because it was halted. And he also talks about the Cocoa Board report, the other report that the taxpayers' money was used to pay $10 million audit report. And the government is refusing to put it out and saying that if you want to see it or if you want to have a look at it, please apply for it. And it's the first time we're hearing that. Basically, what do you think is the problem?
Obi, I have a very short and simple answer to what especially Dr. Baumia has been talking about over bloated projects. Maybe you don't know this. Maybe you do. There is only one CEO who has been held over by this government from when we were in power. He is the director of the Department of Urban Roads. His name is Abbas Awolo.
He's still at post.
He's still at post. So if the MPP government believe that he was helping President Mahama pad projects, all they need to do is to get him to come and say it. If indeed President Mahama was doing that, it's a crime, isn't it?
Of course.
So he should come and say it. And he should come and tell us which part of it he participated in. But I have an even more bizarre conclusion. If you say that President Mahama was overbloating things like the circle interchange.
Yes. And he says that even the Caucus interchange,
yes,
the figure has reduced since they renegotiated.
All that was under the aegis of one person that you have kept in office. The only one person you have kept in office. It means that President Mahama was either doing a scintillating job with that person, or even worse, you like what he did. You like the padding. So you are enjoying the pad master. Am I wrong with that
It
conclusion?
simply does not make sense.
He is the one person, OBTO. They sacked all of us. Some of us were chased out even before, some of us, we got our letters even before we left the place.
Exactly.
So if you have kept that one person, you must have seen something in him. It is either you like the good or you like the ridiculous. State which one it is. You see, what the MPP is trying to tell Ghanaians is that all these things take place without the input of civil servants or the middle public servants that were working with us.
So it's just about the CEO.
All the work that we did at Free Zones, the people who worked with, they're still there. You were there with me. You know what we're doing there.
Exactly.
So if we did anything, we did it with the collusion of so many other people.
And they are still there.
And they are still there. But the fact of the matter is that they say you over bloated projects. For example, this Cocoa Roads. You spend $10 million to audit, right? That audit was done by a member of the Council of State.
His company.
Yes. Right? It was given to him. Nobody knows what procurement processes they went through. We don't know where the report is. When you ask them, they say, come and collect the report.
We are told that you can apply for it.
It is taxpayers' money. But the truth is that it is jobs for the boys, Obi. It is jobs for the boys and girls. Because another set of audits was done by Morrison & Morrison, whose Morrison happens to be the Minister for Gender.
That's the husband.
Absolutely. So this is what they do. But in doing so, they have halted the projects. Like President Mahama was saying, if you are auditing, let the project continue.
So you're halting the projects and then now coming back to renegotiate the projects and then giving it out to contractors again.
That is what they have done.
Is it causing financial loss to the state?
Of course. It's not just causing financial losses, and it's a complete outrage. They have given out some Cocoa Roads projects as we speak. So imagine we come to power and we do the same thing. Then where are we drifting as a country?
Why do you think this audit report is being kept under lock and key?
Because there's nothing in it. Or even worse, nothing was done. There's nothing in it. Do you honestly think that if they found something in it, we won't know? There's nothing in it. You see, those are the things that President Mahama is pointing to. That I had a vision in my heart. This is the vision. I actuated the vision. Yes, I had 3.5 years because for almost all of the first year we were in court. This is what I was able to do. Respect what I was able to do and carry on, if you will. Where they know that they cannot contest that the project is sitting there, they say you have overbloated it. Then where they think that they can associate themselves with it, they claim it and they go and say, renegotiate it, redesign it, redo it. Listen, it is their stock in trade. Before they came to power in 2000, remember the Tetekwashi overpass was being built. When they came into power, they said it should be redone, redesigned, read this, read that. That is the legacy of what you have there right now. That is not the original plan for the... it
was changed.
Yes, it was changed. So this is who they are. They come to power and they come and destroy. What you have built, they will destroy. They will appropriate. They covet it. They will use it for all the nefarious things that they need to use it for. Look at what is going on at Kotoka International Airport today. Profiting from a pandemic.
Anyway, we are expecting your messages on 0540109009 0540109009, and let's take some of your messages. How can you say we don't eat infrastructure and now want us to applaud you for commissioning toilets and street lights? What will an assemblyman commission? This one is from Sir Oxygen from T-Town. I don't know about T-Town anyway. Nanado should tell us how many hospitals he has built in his 4 years term.
None.
When it comes to infrastructure, Nanado is nowhere near JM. This one is coming from Zipporah from Teshi. And this one says, in November 2016, JM was named Infrastructure and Commissioner King. But what we are experiencing now is a whole V8 carrying a chair and a hole being used to cut sword wherever he reaches, I'm sure. And this is from Andy from the OT region. The second coming of the NDC is too sure. Kweku in Kumasi sent that one. Good evening to our able minority caucus. NDC, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, performed better in terms of infrastructural development. NDC built over 40 E-blocks, NPP none. NDC built KJTR Market, Tamale Teaching Hospital, Eastern Corridor Road, universities, and many more. But MPP cannot point to a single infrastructure that they built. What MPP is capable of doing is stalling projects to cover their bad image. And then that was sent by Amidou Abdul Aziz Freedom from Gushegu. JM and the NDC are coming back live, God willing. NPP has nothing to boast of apart from their so-called free SHS. They have not been able to build even one school. If every government were like that, were they going to do the free SHS under trees or what? Where are the dump factories, the 185 senior high schools that they promised? Did they, is it 185? I thought it was 350.
350. And let me give you the quote. Mama said 200, they said 350.
Anyway, so this one ends by saying Ghanaians are tired of their lies. You forgot to add your name to that. This one says Mahama and the NDC government have done far better than Nanado and the MPP government. Even Chebi water project was done by the NDC government. The only thing we are seeing now since NPP came to power is insecurity, lawlessness, appointment of family and friends, galamsey fraud by polluting and giving out seized excavators of small-scale miners to their party appointees, missing tricycles, hardship on Ghanaians, kidnapping people who are exposing their wrongdoings, collapsing banks, claiming ownership of projects they have no idea about, visa scandal, Pius Ajide in brackets, and many other dubious acts they were involved in. This one is from Divine in Shebi. Mahama and the NDC, okay, this one came twice. All right, so I'm sure that you can keep sending your messages on to the numbers.
If I may I
please go ahead.
Yeah. You see, the disingenuity of the MPP lies in something I'm going to mention.
Sure.
You know the National Cathedral. Mm-hmm. Why is it not
President
in their... Why is it not in their list of achievements?
Because they haven't started.
But this was a covenant between President Akufo-Addo and God.
On behalf of Ghanaians.
On behalf of Ghanaians. So if God came to you and asked you to build him a cathedral, and you've gone and brought a stone from Israel, and if you may, Israel is not even a Christian state. The Jewish state, the Judaism is not Christianity, but they went to bring a stone from Israel to start that project. Remove judges, broke down their houses. Mm-hmm. Of course, all those who could have spoken kept quiet. Can you imagine if President Mahama had seen a vision between him and his God, and he was going to build a cathedral, and he took down judges'
I don't want to imagine
what would have happened? But that happened, everybody was quiet. Today, there's a hole in the ground. The stone is still there. Every time it rains, the stone gets wet. No cathedral. Right? And everybody's quiet. Mm-hmm. They haven't spoken about some of their swan song achievements, like the industrial use of Indian hemp, which they have legalized.
They have?
Absolutely. It's now, you can now industrially smoke weed if you want.
And it's not in the manifesto?
It's not in their manifesto.
They should have claimed it.
It's not, but it's a project. Industrial application of weed, it's a project, but it's not there. So why don't you want to talk about what you have done? So that Ghanaians can assise you, when the plebiscite comes, they decide that this is what you have done. You are going to build a cathedral. Have you finished? We can all go to church. Have you finished? No.
I'm told that smoking weed is still illegal.
No, it's
as far
not.
as of the laws of
industrial application is not. if you are using for industrial. For example, if
when you talk about industrial application, what do you mean?
For example, if you want to distill it and mix it with some vodka or something, it's the industrial, you want to sell it. It's there, you know.
I hear you need a license to do that.
Absolutely, but you cannot, you know. So I'm saying that talk about what you have done.
Okay.
You know, remember we used to laugh about this thing even before the election, that this is what they were going to come and do. But that's another thing altogether. Obi, we are a serious party.
Very well.
President Mahama is talking about $10 billion.
Exactly. Go into that for me. A lot of people think it's a populist decision, and
but
clearly it's to win votes, and that's it.
The record speaks for itself. The record is sitting there. All the things that President Mahama has done. I said, if you don't believe that he can do anything, go to UGMC or go to Kotoka International Airport. The data center he has built. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on.
So this idea of this 10 billion push, exactly what will they be used for? It is
going to go into roads. It is going to go into agriculture infrastructure. It is going to go into providing, we've spoken about educational facilities to aid the free SHS and other programs. It is going to go into transportation, provide harbors, ports, upgrade our existing ports and harbors. In aviation, we are intending to bring back our national airline, upgrade our airports, and who's going to bet against that? A few more international airports, Kumasi, Tamale, will be done. Road safety, very important. You know that over the last so many weeks, all manner of people have died on our roads.
So many.
Including some of our young people, MPP's young people. And the fact of the matter is that our roads are poor. And it is not good enough that after 60-something years of independence, we are still saying that we haven't rethought things like having internal ports that we can send goods and cargo to, so that trucks don't have to come from Niger and Burkina Faso all the way to Tema. All you need to do is to go and stand at the junction of Fiesta Royal at midnight and see overloaded trucks, some of them bent at 45-degree angle, carrying stuff to Niger. Those are the things that cause problems on our roads. How many times have people careened into stationary trucks? So road safety is a problem for us. Railways, we are going to build and complete the Tema Akosogbo Mpakadan railway.
What happened to the sky trains? Have you spotted it anywhere?
I haven't seen the ones over the top. I haven't seen the ones going to the ground. I haven't seen any of those. But what we are saying is that we are a serious bunch of people. We are not, though, going to have defined transport, have a minister for transport, have a minister for railways and a deputy, have a minister for transport itself and deputies, have a minister for ports and harbors and deputies, have a minister for aviation and deputies, have a minister for what else? What else have I forgotten to mention? And it's all aviation and it's all transport. So for one definition of transport, we have 8 ministers, all drawing salary and tax from central government and doing that. Some of them don't even have offices.
There's something that I saw in there about the aggressive social housing plan to deliver 20,000 low-income houses in 260 metropolis municipalities.
When President Mahama says that he is going to do anything infrastructure, who are you to bet against it? Saglemi is sitting there. You see, Obobia, let me tell. Well, that is their modus operandi. Before you realize, before you could say Jack, they are waiting till if they win again, they'll distribute it among themselves. You see, if you look at the history of this country, President Mahama came in done Saglemi. President Rawlings did Sakubono, Lashibi, Snake Flats. He finished the Dansoman housing estates, and so on and so forth. President Nkrumah, what can I say? Tema, the North Kaneshi, even President Achampong, General Achampong, did Dansoman and Teshinungwa estates. The MPP have not built one lotto kiosk. They have not finished one. Not one pigsty, not one chicken scoop, not one. Have they finished? They should name one single lotto kiosk that they finished for somebody to lie, to sleep in. They haven't finished. And they don't intend to do anything. What they intend to do is to keep hoodwinking Ghanaians. We also have plans for water and sanitation. You know, water and sanitation is very, very, very important and integral to us in this country. There are many, many hamlets and villages that you go through that don't have good water. So children and women have to wake up in the morning, they go 7-8 miles before they can get water, before children can eat and go to school. We plan to end that. We also plan to end the illegal operation of Okada. It doesn't matter how many meetings they have on the back with them. It is part of our big push transportation plan. We will end Okada as an illegal venture. We are going to empower them. We are going to make it safe for them to operate safely. Because there are so many positives to Okada. It reduces traffic on the roads. It's a simple maxim in transportation. It is called occupancy. Very simple. If you have one person on a motorcycle, it is better than having one person in a vehicle. It reduces congestion. But they don't understand that. Because for them, they came to power to enrich themselves. It is not unusual to see the president going from place to place with a convoy of 48 brand new Land Cruisers and Lexuses with his chair sitting in its own tundra.
Why do you think he carries a chair around?
You know him. He's your relative too. You can ask him. I haven't seen it before in this country. It could only mean that he's afraid of something. Or maybe the chair was ergonomically designed to fit his body. I don't understand. But he's your relative too. You can ask him. Me, he doesn't want to see me.
Anyway, well, before I wrap up, yesterday the balloting was done. The NDC got the number 2. I want us to talk about that whilst we wrap up, and then we'll take your final words. So
well, I would just say that I'll just quote the words of the Archbishop Duncan Williams when he said, "Your second coming will be greater than your setback." So it is a second coming. It has been predicted. For me, where President Mahama is on the ballot is semantics. But seeing that he is at number 2 informs Ghanaians, those of us who want to be superstitious, that it is indeed a second coming, and you put up your 2 fingers and you remember that he's coming again. He's going to come and finish what he started. It's ordained. Maybe, like you said in the beginning, this interceding 4 years has been known to advise us not to take the power that Ghanaians give politicians for granted. And for me, that is what it signifies.
And just before you go, your final words as Ghanaians go to the poll on the 7th of December. Well, why do you think they have to bring President John Dramani Mahama back?
I think that Ghanaians heard what the MPP said they were coming to do, for which reason they gave this president a chance to lead us. If you remember, at the zenith of his campaign, his words to Ghanaians were,
"Try me and
remember
see."
That? Ghanaians have tried him. So the try me government is something that Ghanaians should understand, that it doesn't work, because clearly they had a different plan altogether. It was to enrich themselves and enrich their family and friends. This government, which criticized the then President Mahama for having a single person related to him in government, I mean, yeah, you know them. Well, we don't have to go through them. We can go through a laundry list of who is who. Today, everything that should not be done by a government is being done. And like Edmund Burke said 200 years ago, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing.
You think the good people are not doing anything?
No, I'm saying that in the upcoming election, the good people of this country have to do something.
A bold decision.
A bold decision to bring back President Mahama. As for those things about why does President Mahama want to come back again? President Akufo-Addo has stood presidential election 4 times. He won on his 4th attempt. So why are you asking a man who wants to come
because
again?
Because that he has been president before.
It doesn't even matter. We are talking about the reasons why you feel you can lead. And President Mahama has not only adduced. Today there are enough reasons sitting in front of us for us to know that we have to bring him back. I said, if for nothing at all, they themselves should look at UGMC. Because but for UGMC, all of them would have been at Gethsemane.
What do you think about what is happening in Nigeria?
I think it's unfortunate. I think that African countries need to understand, African leaders need to understand that the time has come when we should stop trying to prevent the citizenry from expressing angst. We should listen to our young people. They should listen to the citizenry. When they want votes, when we want votes, we go to them. Don't use the same things that we pay for you to defend us with, to kill us. It's not right.
Very well. I'm very grateful for your time. Mr. Kojo Chumboafo is my former boss. He is former CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Board, a sectorial spokesperson on infrastructure for the NDC. It was good to have you in the studio tonight. I'm very grateful that you found time to spend an hour with us. John Dramani Mahama is undoubtedly the infrastructure king, and the records are there to show. This current government is making every attempt to discredit His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the National Democratic Congress on their significant strides made in infrastructural development of this country. Visitors to Ghana in recent times now arrive at a gleaming Terminal 3 airport. The Ghanaian people today do not experience water and power cuts that plagued our country years back because of John Dramani Mahama's significant investment in energy infrastructure, rural regions. Under John Mahama's administration, we were becoming more connected both digitally and physically due to the solid investment in road infrastructure, of which most have been halted by this current administration. The unprecedented development in the health and educational sectors are no exception. You and I have 47 days to make an important choice that will put Ghana back on the path of progress. And that choice is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. Voting this government out of power is a communal labor. Join the rescue mission train now. This is where we end tonight's edition. See you same time next week, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. I have been ably produced by Yaya Koku and Abna Babu. My name is Obobiada Kupoku. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon.